Hey everybody, how you doing? My name's Rodney, and today I'm going to show you how I make an easy but very good spaghetti sauce. This is something I've made for several years for my family. Tonight we're having a group of family over celebrate my son's birthday, and he actually requested this. This was his request for his birthday supper tonight. So I'm going to show you how I do it real quick. Now, this is not a homemade from scratch spaghetti sauce. Yes, I will be using some store-bought sauce here, but I'm going to show you the meats I use, the seasonings I use, things I do to give it a little extra. And maybe you can make it the way you like it and see how your family likes it. So, like I mentioned, we are having a big group of family over, so I am making a double portion, but I'm going to show you how I make one portion here. And so let's get started. So I already got my pan heating up here. We're going to put a little drizzle, just a little olive oil in there, kind of coat it on the bottom. Now the meats I use two types of meat. I've got a pound here of sweet Italian sausage. I think that's one thing that makes a difference here is the sweet Italian sausage. Going in the pan. Just pull that little pepper off. And then, as most people, just using some ground beef. We got a pound of ground beef going in the pan. Now we want to brown all this up. I'll just take my spatula, get it broken up, get it browning. Like I said, this is a real easy recipe. It's nothing special. It's not, from scratch homemade. It's just something I kind of concoct on my own that my family seems to like. So I'm using spatula just to break it up a little bit. And what I'll do here in a few minutes is I'll use this is an old potato masher. Your mama or grandmother maybe used it to make mashed potatoes when they really didn't have blenders. I like using this to help smash up my meat, kind of break it up so it's not so big and chunky. I'll do that. I don't like my meat super fine, but I like it fine just a little bit. I'll break that up. And then just keep browning. Turn my heat up just a tad, speed up the process. Break it up, go back in with the potato masher. If you're seeing this, leave in the comments, tell me how you like to make it. Maybe you have something better than I do. I always love to see how people do different things. This doesn't have to be real hard. Anybody can do it. Men, we can do it as well. You can see I'm a man. I think I'm a manly man, and I'm here doing it. And trust me, your woman will like it. Before this video is over, I'm going to tell you something your woman will definitely like. All right, we got that browning good. Let's do a little season. So I can do a few things here. Of course, black pepper. Got to have some good black pepper. Be generous with it. Who doesn't like black pepper? Now, don't put a lot of salt in there. I'm really not going to add any salt because I got some that don't like a lot of salt, so I'm going to leave the salt alone. But this right here, you ever seen Stale Cracker on YouTube? This is some of his seasonings, so shout out to the Stale Cracker. This is his Cajun Trinity seasoning, which is bell peppers, onions, and celery. I'm going to put a good bit of that in there. Everyone's favorite garlic powder. Be generous. Everybody loves the garlic. And, sorry, almost forgot, some smoked paprika. Just a dab. Now, key to this is don't over season at the beginning. Once you over season, you're done. You can't take it out. You can always add seasoning, but you can't take it out. So be careful with your seasoning. very important. I've done this a few times, so I've kind of got a good idea of the amount of seasoning I use. You can see I didn't measure anything, but first time out, just put a little bit in there. And as you're cooking, give it a little taste. If it needs a little extra seasoning, add a little to it there. Now we're getting close on this brown meat, but I'm gonna give it one more mash with the potato. Meat's almost brown. Now next thing, right here I've got one chopped onion, one chopped bell pepper going in. If you like, you can add sweet peppers if you like a little extra sweetness. I'll show you a little thing I do for sweetness a little later. So we're just gonna get these in here and get these onions, bell peppers start to cook down just for a few minutes. I try and chop them real fine, because especially my son, he doesn't like to feel the crunch or the texture of it. So that's the key with vegetables: onions, bell peppers, celery, whatever you may be using. If you just want it for the flavor, chop it super fine. If you want it for the flavor and the texture, leave your chunks bigger. Let those cook for a few minutes. Again, I'm making a double portion because we've got a lot of family coming over tonight. I'm just showing you one portion that I made. Now, if I'm cooking this at night, getting ready to eat here soon, once I get my meat and veggies cooked, I'll add my sauce and a few more seasoning, and I'll have it in a pot and put it on a low simmer for about 30 minutes. However, it's 11 a.m. in the morning. We're not eating till later this evening. So what I'm going to do is, once I get it ready, I'm going to put it in my crock pot here, put it on low, and just let it slowly cook for several hours, and that'll make it extra good. Slow and steady wins the race. You can go low and slow, you're going to have a winner. That's one thing about it, these vegetables, I use kind of lean meat here, so we don't have a lot of fat, and these vegetables soak it all up. So they're cooked down pretty good here. We're going to turn off our fire, and our meat going into the crock pot. Spread that out. Now, like I said, this isn't a homemade from scratch recipe. This is store-bought spaghetti sauce from the grocery store. This got a lot of seasoning in it. I just like to do a few other things to add a little kick to it. So, I'm going to turn my crock pot on low. Going in with our sauce. That in there. Fill that up, turn it upside down. Some of that just sauce will bring down. We'll add that here in a second. Give it a good mix. Got a little messy there. We got a good mix on there. So next, a little Italian season here. This is some good. A little generous for that. Not too much. Remember, you can always add more seasoning. You can't take it out. Get that a good mix. Now, a couple bay leaves. There's a small one. There's a pretty good big one there. So I put 2 in usually for a normal batch. Once I get my second batch in here, I'll add a couple more. Give that a good mix. And put a lid on. Gonna leave that on low for several hours. It'll be good and tasty for tonight. As far as the noodles, I'm not gonna cook them now. I'll cook them later because we're not eating for several hours. Real simple. Boil your water. I put in just a little dab of salt. One reason I didn't add salt to my meat, because I do add salt to my noodle water, and a little bit of my olive oil. Put that in your water. It helps mix, helps your noodles not be as sticky where they stick together as they cook. Cook them to your desired texture. Like I said, real simple. I got another batch here I'm going to make. So, most important thing I'm going to do, gentlemen, listen to this. Most important thing I'm going to do, once I get done with all this, I get it all in the crock pot cooking, I am going to clean up. You want to make your woman happy? Cook for her. She'll love you for it. You want to make her super happy? Clean up your mess. Not by your standards, by her standards. And my wife has very high clean standards. So once I get done with my second batch, I'm going to clean all this up. You can see what it looks like now. Maybe I'll show you what it looks like when I get done. Be good. All right, everybody, as promised, you can see I cleaned up, got all the mess gone, got everything wiped down and cleaned out. I think my wife will be pleased. So you got the sink cleaned down, got all the dirty dishes in the dishwasher, wiped down all the counters 3 times. Cleaned off the oven and stove real good. So hopefully she'll be happy. I mentioned earlier that I had something to add to it to give it a little more sweetness. I forgot to mention it because I don't add it till a little later on. All this is some regular sugar. If you want to add a little sweetness to it, put a little dollar of sugar in there. Just give it a little dust. Mix it in real good. And it'll give it a good sweetness. Plus that sugar, if you got someone that's kind of sensitive to the strong acidity of tomato sauces, tomato juices, that sugar will break that acidity down a little bit. Again, we got this in the crock pot on low. We'll just let it cook slow and low for a while. We'll not eat until tonight. We'll have, of course, spaghetti, have some salad, a little bread. Good time with family, celebrating a birthday. We're gonna eat good. How about you?